I'm going to take you on a grand adventure looking at 2 knockoff Angry Bird toys. From what I can see, Angry Birds is one of the most copied toy brands around, and this is because it's so popular. Often these illegal copies are inferior in design and manufacture, and if you're really lucky, they also carry illegal weapons depending on where you live. Don't be fooled thinking these knockoff toys are cheap. I had to pay top dollar for the privilege of taking these toys home. Well, let's take a look at this Angry Birds slingshot game. It's a knockoff toy. It was purchased for $12. I was told originally it was a $24 toy. I had to laugh when I heard that. And let's see what this is all about. Well, for those who know me, they know I normally do Thomas & Friends knockoff or clone toys, and I always say the packaging is where the real surprises are. And here's one, Angry Birds with special abilities. Well, we're going to just find out what these special abilities are. I'm sure all will be revealed very soon. Well, I've just found a very special warning. Never aim or shoot a person or animal as the target. Always keep safe, ! And do not shoot other with that toys. And it's not a knockoff toy unless it's got the word new or new to the market somewhere on the packaging. Let's take a look at the birds. There's a blue bird. It's got a squeaky inside. It reminds me more of a puppy dog's toy than anything else. Let's look at this triangle bird, orange bird, if you want to call it. Sounds the same to me. And look at the so popular and famous red bird. Sounds a little bit higher pitch there. And it's got your distinctive V eyebrows and those racing dots on the side. Yep, we've also got a little bit of tail feather action going on. And also part of the kit comes a slingshot. And you're probably saying, oh, big deal, we've got slingshots. Well, I can tell you something about slingshots where I live. They are classed as a prohibited weapon. They are illegal. So here's a toy for sale in the middle of Sydney. It's got knockoff toys and it's got a prohibited weapon all in one hit. It's sort of making my $12 feel like it was worth it. Just to show you the potential of this slingshot, I've got a piece of glass here that I've put a bit of silver on so we can see it. And I'll come along and I will shoot a steel ball through this piece of glass. Okay, I haven't done this in quite a few years. In 3, 2, 1. So there you go. If I've taken Angry Bird away from the slingshot and put a ball bearing in, I've turned that toy into a dangerous weapon. And that's possibly something to get angry about. Okay, let's give it a go with the slingshot with a squash and squeaky Angry Bird. And my target is going to be that Lego minifigure that looks like Santa. Merry Christmas, Santa. Okay, hasta la vista, Santa. Getting a good aim here. And fire! The sound it makes, it kills me. And as ridiculous as this is, I'll try and get another one. 3, 2, 1. That squeaky sound is so stupid. Oh dear, well, sure, it's got a slingshot, but when you fire one of these stupid birds, there's no weight or mass to this, and it makes that stupid sound when it fires. This, I'm in hysterics. This is just so stupid. But it barely, that's just a Lego Enderman that my daughter said, oh, Daddy, can you put it down on your table? Yeah, okay. But it's only barely just knocking all that apart. So, sure, it's a slingshot and some fake Angry Birds, but there's no lethal combination there. Well, I think I've had enough silly fun with that very, very silly toy. Maybe you've got a few thoughts on this knockoff toy. I'd love to hear what you have to say. And now on to what is potentially one of the most bizarre toys that I've ever tried to look at on my channel. And this is, this video is all about just for the fact I just saw this most bizarre toy and I just thought, I've got to grab it. I paid far too much for it, and I may tell you the story at the end of the video about picking up these toys. Let's get into this box and let's see what horrors await us. There's one thing I've noticed is when I do go out looking for knockoff toys, the absolute masses of Angry Birds stuff that there is these days, it's just everywhere now. Well, you know what, at first glance, this actually doesn't look too bad. There's some track and some girders there, and the blocks that you knock over. It'd be interesting to see if they are cloned from the real McCoy toy. There's a frying pan there. There's a whole bunch of characters. There's the chug-along, whatever you want to call it, Christmas tree, and a bird's nest, and a catapult. One thing I've got to ask is, do Angry Birds normally have their own little Santa caps? That's got to be a bonus. Oh well, let me assemble this rubbish and I will see what nasties await me. Okay, the set has been built and it is, well, the word would be bizarre. There's a lot of stickers going on here, and as I thought, when you see it running, there's all sorts of problems. There was no formal instructions of where the stickers should go, so I've been fairly creative in their placement. It's always interesting, a lot of the knockoff toys, they have spare tyres, so it's sort of saying, well, it's going to work so hard, you're going to need some new tyres. But the real gem here is this manual. Let's have a peek at that. Well, let's rustle up the pages here in this manual and see what we see. There's a bit of a thing of the parts which are in this toy. I suppose people would say, well, it doesn't look too bad, but I'll tell you what, just listen to me, it's rubbish, guys. And there's different games. You can play against the clock, which I really don't understand that. You can play one called the rescue plan. Looks like you're shooting a bird and you're just trying to hit the pig off the train. And it goes on to explain there's back and forth mode. There's little knobs on the track which basically trigger the train to go either backwards or forwards. It's sort of a pain in the neck though, so we might set up the track so we're not hitting those. Talks about connecting the track up. Talks about changing the tyres, and not just any tyres, these are high-speed tyres. And then it talks about, I don't know, points. I didn't know this is so deep, hitting these pigs and stuff. And you know exactly what counts as a score here. It's exacting science, understanding how these Angry Birds work. And what's sort of scary here is explaining, hey, go and get a whole bunch of knockoff Angry Birds sets, combine them together to make the ultimate set. I should point out, up in the nest here is an egg, and it's full of, well, little balls or eggs if you want to call it. If I can get it open, and I can only assume that they go in there. Well, okay, let's take this little train for a bit of a run. I've set the track so there's a return here, a little knob on the track there which will trigger the carriage to go the reverse direction. Turn it on, there she goes. And I won't be surprised if this is at all a fail toy. Coming around, hopefully pick up an egg. We've got one. Hit the return. Going back, a bit shaky there. And just sort of struggling on the corners there. Oh, going around. Oh, we deliver it to the frying pan. Sort of stuck there. Give it the... Oh, didn't deliver it then. Sort of stuck in the corner again. Doesn't like going backwards by the looks of it. Come on, I can't wait all day waiting for you to fail on me. Oh, hopefully going to deliver an egg. Come on, you can do it. No, you can't. Going around, we'll probably pick up another egg. Oh, we've got one. Hit the return. Going back for a shaky turn around. Whoa. Going back. Come on, deliver those eggs to the frying pan. No. Come to a complete and grinding halt. Come on. Bit of a finger feel. Come on. No. Fail. 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 And this is the, well, pretty normal when you're buying rubbish like this, which are knockoff toys. And I paid a lot of money for this, and it doesn't work. And I'm not at all surprised. Come on, deliver those eggs. Whoa! We've got 2 in the frying pan. Yeah, it doesn't like those corners at all. We've got an egg at least. Hit the return. Going for the piggy shakedown. Go pig. And sort of stuck again there. Yes, I can see why this is so much rubbish, and how many people get caught with this. I wonder if the Angry Birds people will be happy to know that there's some people out there making some big dollars selling this absolute rubbish. I think what I'll do is I'll come in and swap this track around. I'll take the return knob away So at least it's just going in one direction. It doesn't seem to like going backwards. Well, I've got it going in one direction, and I suppose there's a little bit more success. I'd say only just. Maybe we've got all the eggs done. Oh, we delivered all the eggs actually. Oh no, there's one more. It seems to work much, much better if it's just going in one direction. And I suppose you're all wondering, how does a catapult work? Because that's what Angry Birds are all about. Let's take a look at that catapult. Okay, here is the catapult. And of course I can hold a bird up there. It's got a little button here. It's got 3 AAA batteries hidden inside. Ooh. It plays the Angry Birds tune. And if I pull this back, it makes that sort of sound. And if I let it go, it makes all the sounds that you'd expect to come from the Angry Birds catapult. And I suppose if I'm really careful, I might be able to get a shot away. Fire! Ayah! Well, launching with a hat doesn't really seem to work. Give it a go. Yo! And just see if I can pull this off again. Actually, bizarrely fun in a way. This knockoff toy is interesting for a few reasons, and that is it seems to have a couple of different themed components from different Angry Birds sets. The blue see-through blocks can be found in the On Thin Ice Angry Birds sets, and the catapult, which has those special sounds, can be found in the playset which is called Mega Fling. I also think the birds and the pigs can be found in the Mega Fling set. Unfortunately, where I live, I can't find the Mega Fling set in the stores, but I've got a funny feeling my friend Beanmeister22 has reviewed this set recently. And you may ask, well, how can you tell a real McCoy toy? Well, you look on the back and you look for the company behind the toy, which is Mattel. There's a link there to consumer information. It's got some information about the fact that it conforms to certain safety requirements. But that's sometimes not always a guarantee, because I've seen knockoff toys which have basically complete bogus packaging as well. There's one curious little dilemma here. If I came up to you in the street and I handed you this bird and I said, could you tell me if this was a real or knockoff toy? You'd probably look around at it and look for anything to tell you that it's got identification or licensing, and there's nothing on that toy. And if I handed this to you in your hand and asked you the same question, is that a real or knockoff toy? You'd have a look at it. Again, you can't really tell. There's no identification, there's no marking. So the big problem here is that the knockoff and the real McCoy toy are so similar, it's not funny, and most people wouldn't even identify a knockoff from a real McCoy Angry Bird. Well, so there you have it. It's one very, very messed up toy. What do you get when you cross Angry Birds with a big loader set and a Christmas theme? Well, you get one very, very, very strange knockoff toy. And what was also interesting was there were 3 choices of playset to choose from. I chose to buy the biggest one because to me this was the most visually interesting, and it hasn't disappointed. But they were all at stupid prices. You know what, it's sort of funny, in a way you haven't made it until you've been cloned and copied and replicated all over the place. Angry Birds has certainly made it by the way I see their toys being cloned and copied. It's on a scale which is actually quite scary, and the problem with these toys is that, well, this one was completely overpriced. There you go, she stopped. They're just low quality. Quite often they have components which are dangerous and can break off easily, and they are not what you would get if you go and buy the real McCoy toy. I see it over and over and over. Yet for some strange reason there are people who are attracted to these very dangerous toys, and this one is stuck. Come on, keep going. Oh dear. So someone somewhere in some corporate headquarters has got a massive job in finding all this knockoff stuff and getting it off the market. Good luck to you. Whoa, that's what I call a killer hit. 3 birds have come in and cleaned up the pig's empire. Goodbye, Fako Angry Birds. Okay, hasta la vista, Santa. Okay, hasta la vista, Santa. Well, launching with the hat doesn't really seem to work. Ooh. There's a bit of a story to me purchasing these toys. It's something I would normally not have, but I was interested in that very strange Train Christmas Angry Birds combination, and I bought it from an area in Sydney where there's a lot of Korean people. I was told originally that set there was worth $70, but I could have it for $40. There's no way I'm going to pay $40 for that. I do know my knockoff stuff. I buy a fair bit of the Thomas Tank knockoff stuff, and stuff of that similar size, well, really, you're only paying $20 to $25 for. So what I thought, I'll do like American Pickers and I'll bundle. I'll go in and I'll choose something I didn't really want. But in this, actually I found something which makes it very interesting and illegal in a sense where I live. And I was told originally that was $24 and I could have it for $12. And I thought, well, okay, can we get another price on this? And then she said, well, the little Korean girl said, well, $35. And I couldn't get any lower than that. So it was at that set there for $35 and that there for $12. And I'll be quite honest with you, I've paid way too much for these. My wife had a bit of a chat to me, and then we said, well, let's try and pull a receipt from this shop and let's see what they produce. And what they produced, I think, highlights the whole strange industry around these knockoff toys. Well, this is the receipt that was produced. You can see that I've paid $47 for it. I've got my thumb over this here because it's the address of the shop. I don't want other people going there. On the other side is basically the address for the shop, but like I said, I don't want people to be going to this place. This receipt means nothing because it doesn't say tax invoice. This person would be avoiding tax in their shop by producing receipts like this. Well, to me, this is a 3 strikes and you're out scenario. We've got a knockoff toy, which I'm sure the Angry Birds people would love to see taken off the shelves. I've got a toy here, which has a prohibited weapon where I live, concealed in there. I'm sure there'll be people who'd love to find out where they are lurking on the shelves and get them taken away. And we've got receipts that mean absolutely nothing. And we asked a couple of times to get a proper receipt, but we were ignored. So this shop is skating on very, very thin ice. Well, while I was making this video, this great big and very large and very aggressive wasp has come in, and it was doing its best to injure me, sting me, harm me, and unfortunately I've had to send it on to a better place. I don't mind wasps because wasps tend to clean up spiders, but this thing was acting very, very aggressively. I don't know if anyone out there can identify that stinger. It's not long for this world. Interesting critters, wasps, when they come in and sting it, they do it real fast, and the pain is intense. Ooh, I think there's a stinger going for it now. Ouch! Just looking at it makes me cringe. I've had some stings from wasps in the past, and I tell you what, they are painful at times. Okay, that's it for my Fako Angry Birds Dark Side video. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.